Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of the Speak English podcast. I'm David, and as always, I'm here with the brilliant, kind, and always inspiring Sarah.
Thank you, David. Hi, everyone. I'm really excited you're here with us, especially because today we're kicking off something very special.
That's right. This is the first episode of our brand new series, IELTS Speaking Secrets, where we'll break down powerful techniques to help you speak with confidence.
And don't worry, this isn't about sounding like a robot or memorizing scripts. It's about being natural, real, and prepared, even under exam pressure.
So if you've ever frozen during a speaking test or wondered how others get those Band 9 scores, this is for you. We're going to make everything super clear.
By the end of this episode, you'll not only learn a powerful speaking strategy, but you'll also hear real examples of Band 9 answers and why they work.
Plus, we've got 2 more episodes coming up next, covering Part 2 and Part 3 of the test. So if IELTS is in your future, now's the time to level up.
Make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and stick around. Because today, we're starting a journey that could seriously change your IELTS score.
So let's start with the first technique that can really change the way you approach the IELTS speaking test. It's called Answer plus Add plus Personalize, a structure that helps your response sound more fluent, more complete, and much more natural to the examiner.
Many candidates make the mistake of giving short, robotic answers like, "Yes, I do," or "No, I don't." These might be grammatically correct, but they don't give the examiner much to assess in terms of fluency, coherence, or your ability to express yourself clearly.
The idea is simple. First, you give a direct answer to the question. Then, you add extra information, a reason, an explanation, a small detail. Finally, you make it personal by sharing something about your life, your feelings, or your habits related to the topic.
This structure helps you sound more confident and relaxed. Instead of worrying about saying the perfect sentence, you build a complete response naturally. The examiner hears you expressing ideas clearly, which shows strong communication skills and earns you better marks.
Let's be honest. Many students study grammar and vocabulary for months, but when they're asked a simple question, they freeze or answer with the minimum. This technique helps you stay calm and deliver responses that feel more like a real, flowing conversation.
One of the best parts of using Answer plus Add plus Personalize is that it gives you control. You're not stuck searching for perfect words. You're focusing on telling your story in a clear, meaningful way, and that's exactly what the examiner wants to hear.
Another key point is that this structure works for all levels. Whether you're aiming for Band 6 or Band 9, the method can be adapted. What changes is the level of detail, the vocabulary range, and how naturally you connect ideas. But the base is the same.
And don't forget, the IELTS speaking test isn't about showing off complex grammar. It's about how well you can communicate ideas clearly and naturally. This technique gives you a simple framework that removes pressure and helps your ideas come out smoothly.
When the examiner sees you answer confidently, add relevant details, and connect the response to your real life, it's a strong sign of fluency and coherence. These are 2 major criteria for a high score in the speaking test, and this technique hits both perfectly.
So remember, answer the question directly, add a bit of explanation or a reason, and then personalize it with something from your life. With this approach, you're not just answering questions. You're having a real conversation in English, and that makes all the difference.
All right, now that we've explained the technique, let's see it in action. I'll ask a real question from IELTS Speaking Part 1, and Sarah will show us how to respond using the method we just talked about. Ready? Here's the question. Do you enjoy reading books?
Yes, I absolutely love reading books. I usually prefer historical fiction or biographies because they allow me to explore real-life experiences and learn about different moments in history. Reading also helps me relax and disconnect from technology after a long day.
That was a perfect example of answer plus add plus personalize. You didn't just say yes. You gave us a reason why. You described what kinds of books you read. And then you made it personal by connecting it to your daily routine. That's exactly how to do it.
Thanks. I think the key is not trying to sound too formal or perfect. Just answer the question like you would in a normal conversation, but with a little extra effort to add value. It's that balance between clarity and natural rhythm that examiners really appreciate.
Right? And I want to point out that you weren't using complex or fancy vocabulary, but your ideas were clear, well-organized, and authentic. That's what gets noticed in the test. How well you can communicate thoughts in real time with confidence.
Another thing to notice is how the answer was complete, but not too long. It stayed within 20 to 30 seconds, which is ideal for Part 1 questions. You don't want to give a speech, just enough to show you can speak comfortably without sounding memorized.
If you're practicing at home, you can even record yourself using this question. Try giving a basic answer, then expand it like Sarah did. You'll notice how much more fluent and expressive your speaking becomes when you start using this structure consistently.
And you'll probably feel more relaxed too. Because when you follow a simple pattern like this, you're not guessing what to say next. You already have a map. That helps you speak more smoothly, even if you're nervous or the topic isn't your favorite.
So whether you're talking about books, food, hobbies, or daily routines, this technique works beautifully. It turns short, dry responses into engaging answers that sound like real communication, not a test performance.
And once you've practiced it a few times, it becomes second nature. Your answers will start flowing more easily, and you'll build real confidence for the test, and for real-life conversations in English, too.
One of the biggest benefits of this technique is that it instantly makes your answers sound more fluent and confident. Instead of giving short replies, you're offering real, thoughtful responses that show your comfort with the language and your ability to think in English.
Another advantage is how natural it sounds. You're not forcing complicated grammar or memorized phrases. You're just communicating in a clear and personal way. This kind of response helps the examiner see that you're not just studying English, you're actually using it.
It also makes a huge difference when it comes to your fluency and coherence score, which is one of the 4 main scoring criteria. When your ideas flow smoothly and you connect them with ease, it proves you can handle real conversation in English.
And let's not forget vocabulary. When you add and personalize, you naturally include a wider range of words. You're not repeating simple phrases. You're using descriptive language and meaningful expressions that demonstrate your range without sounding forced.
This approach also reduces pressure. When you have a strategy, you're not going into the test blind. You're not trying to guess what the examiner wants. You're focusing on sharing ideas in a relaxed and structured way, and that helps lower your anxiety a lot.
You'll also sound more interesting and engaging. Let's face it, answers like, "Yes, I do," or "No, I don't really say much. But when you explain your answer and make it personal, it feels like you're having a real talk, not just checking off a test box.
Examiners are trained to look for spontaneous speech, and when you personalize your answers, it shows that you're thinking in real time, not just repeating rehearsed material. That authenticity adds real value to your speaking score.
The technique also helps build better habits over time. When you practice using this structure regularly, it becomes second nature. You stop translating in your head and start expressing yourself more freely, both in exams and in everyday situations.
And perhaps one of the most underrated benefits is how much control it gives you. Instead of freezing or panicking when you hear a question, you fall back on this simple structure, which keeps you talking in a calm and confident way.
So even if your grammar isn't perfect or you forget a word here and there, the overall impression is strong. You sound fluent, clear, and human, which is exactly what IELTS wants. That's the power of answer plus add plus personalize.
Let's break this down into a step-by-step routine you can follow at home. The first thing you need is a list of common IELTS Speaking Part 1 questions. You can easily find them online or download the free list we've included in the description of this episode.
Next, choose one question and record yourself answering it using the Answer plus Add Personalize method. Don't worry about being perfect. Just focus on creating a full response where you give your opinion, expand a bit, and connect it to your real life.
After you record, listen to your answer carefully. Ask yourself, did I clearly answer the question? Did I give an extra detail or reason? Did I add something personal? If any part feels weak or incomplete, no problem. That's where you focus in your next try.
Repeat the same process with a few different questions. The repetition is where the real learning happens. Each time you practice, your answers will sound smoother and more natural, and you'll start speaking with more rhythm and less hesitation.
You can also write down your answers at first, if that helps you organize your thoughts. But always try to move towards speaking freely. The goal is to sound spontaneous, not like you're reading a script or reciting something you memorized the night before.
If possible, practice out loud with a partner or in front of a mirror. Speaking out loud, even if you're alone, makes a huge difference. It helps your brain get used to forming sentences quickly, and it builds real confidence in your ability to express ideas.
Another useful trick is to time yourself. Set a timer for 30 seconds to 1 minute, and try to give a full answer within that time. This simulates the real test conditions and trains you to organize your thoughts clearly without rushing or pausing too much.
Don't forget to focus on clarity over complexity. You don't need big, fancy words to impress the examiner. What matters more is how clearly and confidently you express your ideas. Simple, natural speech is always better than forced or robotic answers.
If you're stuck, try brainstorming common topics like hobbies, food, or routines. Think about what you honestly feel about those topics and how you'd explain them to a friend. That mindset helps you build better, more personal answers automatically.
The more you practice, the more automatic this structure becomes. Soon, you won't even need to think about the steps. You'll just hear the question and start responding naturally, with confidence, clarity, and a personal touch that truly stands out.
One of the most common mistakes students make is stopping too soon. They answer the question with a short sentence like, "Yes, I do," or "No, not really," and then they just sit there. This leaves a bad impression and shows little to no fluency or development.
Another major mistake is trying to sound overly academic or scripted. Some learners memorize full answers they found online and repeat them during the test. The examiner notices right away, and unfortunately, that can actually lower your score.
Some people also freeze up because they're searching for the perfect word or grammar structure. But IELTS is not about perfection. It's about communication. If you pause too much or overthink, your answer will feel disconnected and unnatural.
A subtle but serious error is avoiding personal details out of fear of making mistakes. But the truth is, personalization is what makes your answer stronger. Even if your grammar isn't perfect, real examples and emotions make your English more human and real.
Another thing to avoid is rambling. Some learners add so much information that they forget to stay on topic. The goal isn't to say everything, it's to say something clearly. A focused answer that connects directly to the question is always better.
One habit to watch out for is using the same words or phrases repeatedly. This can hurt your score in lexical resource. Try to vary your vocabulary even just a little by using synonyms or rephrasing your thoughts in a different way to show more range.
Also, don't ignore your speaking pace. Some learners speak too fast because they're nervous, and that leads to mistakes and unclear pronunciation. Others speak too slowly and sound hesitant. Practicing with a timer helps you find a balanced rhythm.
Avoid overcomplicating things. Using long, complicated sentences might seem impressive, but if it affects your clarity or causes confusion, it's not worth it. Simple and direct answers, delivered with confidence, always have a stronger impact.
Some learners think they need to give long answers to score well. But in Part 1 of the test, responses should be short and natural, around 20 to 30 seconds. Going too long can sound rehearsed or overwhelming for the examiner.
Finally, don't underestimate the value of being yourself. The examiner isn't testing your acting skills. They want to hear you. Use your own thoughts, real experiences, and honest opinions. That's what creates a genuine, engaging response every time.
All right, now it's time to put everything you've learned into action. Here's a challenge for you. Pick 3 random questions from the IELTS Speaking Part 1 list. Don't overthink them. Just choose the first 3 that catch your eye.
Once you have your questions, your task is to answer each one using the Answer plus Add plus Personalize structure. But here's the twist. You need to do it in under 60 seconds per answer, just like in the real test.
Keep it simple and natural. Speak clearly. Don't rush. And try to express yourself like you're talking to a friend. You're not aiming for perfection. You're aiming for a complete, real, and confident answer within that short time frame.
You can do this challenge by recording yourself on your phone or even speaking in front of a mirror. What matters most is that you say the answers out loud, because speaking out loud is what builds real fluency and helps you find your natural rhythm.
After you finish your 3 answers, play them back and ask yourself, did I follow the structure? Did I go beyond a basic response? Did I include something personal? Reflecting on your performance is just as important as the practice itself.
And if you feel stuck at any point, take a short break and try again. This isn't about getting everything right on the first try. It's about building confidence through repetition and learning from each attempt you make. Progress comes step by step.
To make this even more effective, repeat this challenge with 3 new questions every day for a week. By the end of the week, you'll notice your answers becoming more fluid, your ideas coming faster, and your anxiety dropping a little more each time.
And we'd love to hear from you. If you feel brave, choose one of your answers and post it in the comments below. Just type it out using the structure, or even better, upload a short video response and share it with the community.
Seeing how others answer can be super inspiring. You're not alone in this journey, and every learner who shares their voice helps build a stronger, more confident community of English speakers from around the world.
So go ahead, take the challenge, speak from the heart, use the structure, and be proud of your progress. You're not just preparing for a test, you're developing a real skill that can open doors in your career, studies, and life. You've got this.
Today we introduced one of the most powerful yet simple strategies to improve your performance in the IELTS Speaking Test. Answer plus Add plus. Personalize gives you structure, clarity, and confidence, even if you're feeling nervous or unsure.
We also showed how short answers are not enough if you want to stand out. Personalizing your response helps you sound more fluent and natural, while also making your speaking more interesting for the examiner.
You saw how a Band 9 answer doesn't rely on complicated vocabulary or long sentences. It's about connection, clarity, and being able to expand your answer with real-life details that show you truly know how to express yourself.
And through our step-by-step practice tips and challenge, we gave you practical ways to train every day, helping you become more confident and ready for test day, and for real conversations in English, anywhere.
If this episode helped you, let us know in the comments. Share one of your answers, or tell us which part made the biggest difference for you. Your feedback helps us make each episode better and more useful for English learners like you.
And if you got to this point in the video, it means you're really committed to improving your English. So type the word IELTS in the comments so we know you stayed until the end, and we'll be cheering you on every step of the way.
Don't forget to like this video and hit the subscribe button. That way, you'll be the first to know when Part 2 and Part 3 of this IELTS Speaking Secrets series are released. We're just getting started.
Thanks again for being with us today. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and remember, confidence in speaking comes from showing up and speaking up. We believe in you, and we'll see you very soon in part 2.